Sitting at the bottom of the hill on College Avenue in Maryville, Missouri, Bearcat Arena serves as the home for the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats. For some, Bearcat Arena is a place to leave a legacy. For others, it's a chance to spoil achievements.
2.7 seconds left. Guyman launches one a long way. It is good.
But for the Waukee, Iowa native, Bearcat Arena is a daunting place.
Now goes back out to Handy on the top of the key. To Hartman, three-pointer on the way, too strong. Loose ball. Schultz had it poked out of her hands. She is fouled, and Coleman is down on the floor in pain.
Yeah, so when I went down, I felt immediate knee pain, like on the outside of my knee, and I'd never felt that before. I never had knee problems, nothing. My family hasn't had knee problems. So I felt this instant pain, like something just got ripped out of my knee, and I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I knew something was terribly wrong, and then Kelly ran out immediately, and if she comes out like that, then you know something's wrong.
As Kylie rolled back and forth, grasping the outside of her knee, her screams filled Bearcat Arena, a warning sign of what was to come.
She kind of landed a little awkward in one of the previous possessions, and I just kind of, I guess, sarcastically said, "Get up, you can't be hurt." You know, we'd already had a couple injuries, and she was playing at a really high level, and she got right back up, which she always did when she'd go down. She's a kid that's always on the floor, diving for loose balls, sticking her nose in. So, you know, the possession where she did go down with the injury and didn't get back up right away, you kind of knew this is going to be a problem.
Entering her senior year, the Bearcats' most accurate three-point shooter was ready to lead her team to the postseason. Or so she thought.
So initially they were like, I'm 95% sure it's not an ACL, all this stuff. So in my head I'm like, oh great, this can't be that bad. Like, might be back here in a couple weeks, just could be some bone bruising. So in my mind I had talked myself up like, oh, I'll be fine, which was stupid of me. But I was at practice, and then Doc came in with the results, and I went down with Kelly, and he was like, well, here you go, and I read it and figured out what it was. So I was just like, oh my gosh, it's senior year, COVID, like nothing's going right.
Nothing was going right for Coleman, whose ACL injury 9 games into the season put a halt on a promising final go-around.
You know, we didn't know at first. We thought it was probably going to be an ACL, but it was just, hey, you know, hang in there, and we'll see what the doctors say the next day. And then, you know, we were practicing when she came in after they had confirmed it was an ACL. And, yeah, it was tough. It was definitely a tough spot, but she had all her teammates stop practice, went over there, gave her a hug. So just had support of everybody on the team. And as tough as it was, I think having that group, and her family was in town. And so she had a support staff.
However, the support wasn't always around for Coleman, as the Bearcats try to keep their postseason hopes alive.
So there was a couple road trips there where I didn't get to go. I was home alone, and I was just thinking, like, watching the game on my TV, that should be me, I should be with them, I should be traveling and stuff. And it was like, I'd sit there and just cry. Like, I had no clue what to do because all my friends were gone and all this stuff, and I couldn't move. I could barely move anywhere. So yeah, I mean, it was hard. It was definitely a mental thing.
A huge piece to the Bearcats' success, the season-ending injury Coleman suffered left Northwest hanging on whether or not they could make a run.
You know, she was a kid that was, at the time, we would put her on the other team's best player. She was our best defender at the time. She was shooting the ball 43% from three. I mean, we saw her struggles from a shooting standpoint this year that, you know, she had an effective field goal percentage of right around 60%, which is pretty impressive. And just was an element, you know, she's a solid Division II player. So losing her with the other ones, it did make it tougher. And you think about the game she went down on, you know, we had an 8-point lead after 3 quarters against Emporia State, which is a program that our program hadn't beat in a long time. And so yeah, it definitely set us back. You miss somebody like that, you know, one of your better players, that makes it tough.
Life is a game of up and downs. And while the injury was no one's fault, Coleman took all the dejection.
Obviously it wasn't my fault and we couldn't prevent it, but we were winning the game, and that was like a big game for us because Emporia State was really good. And I went down, and then the whole mood changed with my team, so I was like, I caused that. If I hadn't gone down, we probably would have won. My teammates would have been just fine. And then we had a spell there for a little bit where we didn't play very well, and I was like, oh, it's because I'm not there. I couldn't travel or do anything. I couldn't be with them, talk to them, do anything like that. So yeah, I felt like that was my fault. So yeah, it was a little bit there where I had some like guilty conscience almost, but.
Coleman now begins her journey to becoming the player she once was, one step at a time.
Yeah, so every day I go in with Kelly, our trainer, and I do workouts with her. She kicks my butt, and then each morning before school I come up here and do workouts with Joe, and he kicks my butt. And then I've been getting in the pool lately, doing some running in the pool. I don't know, it's a lot of strength, like hips, knees, quads, hamstrings. Pretty much anything you can think of with that, they're going to do, and they're going to make sure that you get back on track.
Although Northwest missed the postseason tournament this year, Coleman has decided to use her extra year of eligibility to return to the Bearcats, hoping to take them to the promised land.
I knew if I got the opportunity to come back that I was going to come back. He initially had all of us seniors come in, and he was like, hey, we have however many freshmen coming in, so prepare to not be able to come back because scholarship money and all that stuff. So I was prepared not to come back, but once I got the news that I was going to be able to, it was no question whether I had an injury or not.
The hard work and dedication from Coleman has Bearcat fans and coaching staff excited for her comeback.
She's a very competitive kid. We talk about sticking her nose in loose balls, rebounds. She's one of those kids that wants to win, every drill and practice, and she's just a competitor. So it is tough. All college athletes, there's a lot more to balance from a time standpoint, but to think she doesn't have many windows in the day to come in and do 30 minutes of rehab or this or that. She's gone all day, so she has to be even better with time management, which she's done. Like I said, getting up at 5 a.m., coming in, rehabbing, working out, then going to school all day, and then coming back and getting shot. I mean, it's a busy schedule, but she's done it, and I think it just shows how much she loves the game.
For Coleman, Bearcat Arena can now be a place of resurgence and hopefully a place of champions.
I was expecting a lot. We have really nice talent coming in. We have amazing talent returning, and I think with Mal and I being fifth-year seniors, obviously that's 4 years of experience that most teams don't get. So hopefully we can help the freshmen and help them develop the program into what we want it to be, whether that be next year or in the upcoming years. But next year we're hoping to obviously make it pretty far in the tournament and hopefully cut down some nets.
For Northwest Student Media, I'm Calvin Silvers.